Hello, boys and girls. Greg from the Scary Spirits podcast here once again to make you a cocktail. Today we will be making the cat tail cocktail. I'm going to start with a shaker and ice. To that, we're going to add 1.5 ounces of vodka. Next, one half ounce ginger syrup. Trust me, this is ginger syrup. I made it myself last night, and it is delicious. 1/2 ounce. Next, one half an ounce St Germain Elder Liqueur. 1/2 ounce. Like so. And finally, 2.5 ounces lemonade. Wow. That was very sloppy. What is it about lemonade? It is so sloppy. All right. Next, going to shake. We strain into a cocktail glass. And there you have it, the cattail cocktail. Garnish with a lemon if you like, and rosemary. I think it's fine the way it is. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. See ya.
As you get older, you may come to a time where you look back on your life and realize you might just owe your mom an apology. Or two. I mean, maybe you ruined a perfectly planned family outing to the zoo. Maybe while there you visited the cat house. Maybe because you were 4 or 5 years old, you pitched a royal fit, throwing yourself on the ground and screaming because your mom wouldn't let you take home the beautiful Black Panther. Maybe you pouted the rest of the day. Maybe listening to the Scary Spirits podcast number 59, Cat People, will make all those memories come flooding back to you. Maybe. No? Just me? Okay, whatever. I'm so sorry, Mom. Cheers!
Welcome to the Scary Spirits podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and/or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So, if you're ready, let's go.
Hi, I'm Greg.
Hey, I'm Karen.
And welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast, the podcast that combines the two very different but highly compatible worlds of scary films and alcoholic spirits.
What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed. How are you, Karen?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Greg?
I'm good, Karen. Thank you for asking.
It's what we do. Just a fair warning, everyone. I sense pregame has happened today.
Well, we are recording later, so there's been more time for pre-gaming than usual. So, yes, of course, it has happened.
And you don't let any pregame time slip away.
No.
That's just crazy talk.
That's right. If I got time to drink, I'm drinking. Sorry.
No need to apologize.
All right, Karen, I don't think we have anything to correct from last week's episode, but thus far, no one has corrected me on the Bloody Monkey cocktail on YouTube. So,
oh, come on, people.
We have not been able to give away a sticker yet, but someone could have said something today. I don't know. I haven't checked today. So,
somebody go watch that YouTube video. Which number was it? 54?
Yep, 54.
Episode number 54. So on the YouTube channel, Greg makes all of the drinks for you so you can follow along. But he made a major error in episode number 54.
Like
yeah. And I said anyone who points it out gets a free Scary Spirits sticker. I don't know why people aren't just jumping on that left and right.
I don't know. But as of
sticker,
I checked yesterday.
Greg, a sticker.
I might throw some business cards in with it. I don't know. Just to be crazy.
You never know what might come in the mail for you.
As of yesterday, last time I checked, no one had commented. Someone could have commented today. I don't know.
Scary Spirits Podcast on YouTube.
Yes. But today's film, I believe, was your choice, correct?
It was.
And what film have you chosen for us, Karen?
I chose the film from 1942, Cat People.
Any reason you chose this film, Karen, or just cause?
Because cats.
Because you're the crazy cat lady.
I'm my borderline crazy cat lady.
Karen.
Your definition and my definition are different. Some people aren't cat people, Greg, and some people are.
Like me. I'm not a cat person. Karen, how many cats do you feed and take care of?
Well, that's not fair.
How many?
7.
7.
Mm-hmm.
And how many are like your house cats?
4.
So you have 4 house cats and then 3 strays that you feed and take care of, right?
Well, 2 came from my mother-in-law, and they're in the garage, and 1's outside. I have a big heart. What can I say, Greg? I've taken a lot of strays.
True that, I guess. How many stray dogs have you taken in, Karen?
Well, stray dogs are not as easy to find.
Okay, so moving on.
I do have 1 dog, though. I do not only have cats.
Yes, she does have a dog, though she's not a dog hater.
No, I love my dog. And I've had multiple dogs before.
And
you can hear my dog
big,
snore
vicious
sometimes.
Dogs, aren't they?
Well, they're big.
Or chewing a squeaky toy, I believe.
That was John's dog, not mine.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, he is a big dog too. His is a shepherd husky mix. So a good dog's dog. All right. So Cat People from 1942, right, Karen?
Yes.
Do you have a cocktail?
I do.
What is it?
It's called the Cattail.
Clever. Go on. How do we make it?
You're going to need 1.5 ounces of vodka, 2.5 ounces of lemonade, 1/2 ounce of St Germain Elderflower liqueur, 1/2 ounce of ginger syrup, and rosemary, a sprig of rosemary. Pour the vodka, ginger syrup, lemonade, and St Germain into a shaker with ice. Add a sprig of rosemary. Shake well, then strain into a chilled cocktail glass full of ice. Garnish with a lemon slice and a rosemary sprig, and serve.
I totally blew this one, Karen. I'm just going to admit it right now.
You did? On the YouTube channel?
Yes, I did.
Oh, people, here's another chance for a sticker.
I got no rosemary because I threw it out last week. I got no ice in my cocktail glass. I'm sorry.
I sent you a picture of. All right. So if you go on the YouTube.
Karen, you know I've been busy today, right?
Anybody who tells me that he fucked up the drink on YouTube gets a free Scary Spirits sticker.
Drink is good though.
You can email me at Karen@scaryspirits.com or just comment on the YouTube channel. It is good. It's quite delicious. So let's talk about the
even
ginger
without
syrup.
the rosemary. And yeah, let's talk about ginger syrup. Ginger syrup, you say, Karen?
Yes, you can buy ginger syrup, but both Greg and I made our own.
We did.
And it's very tasty.
I went to the local grocery store here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they had no ginger syrup, but they did have ginger root. So I went ahead and bought some ginger root, came home last night and made my own ginger syrup.
Yeah,
very simple.
Yeah, you want to tell them how to do it or just send them to Google?
No. Yeah. Figure that shit out on your own.
It is very simple to make, and it's delicious, I think.
Karen, I had ginger syrup in my tea this morning.
That's a good idea.
It was delicious.
That's a good idea.
My chai tea. I have chai tea every morning, and about 3 or 4 cups. And this morning I added a little, like about a half ounce ginger syrup, and it was delicious. So, Karen, should we give our listener time to make their own
cattail
cocktail?
Yes, let's.
Told them how, right?
Yes, I told him how.
All right, hold on. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
All right, Karen, might you have a brief synopsis for the 1942 film Cat People you can share with our listener?
I do.
And myself. Go on. Tell me a story.
Irena, a New York City-based fashion designer who hails from Serbia, begins a romance with marine engineer Oliver. After the couple gets married, Oliver becomes concerned about Irena's notion that she is cursed and may transform into a large cat in the heat of passion. Confiding in his beautiful assistant Alice about his marital issues, Oliver unwittingly triggers Irena's curse with tragic results.
Okay. Are we ready to get into the film, Karen?
Let's go.
All right. Cat People from 1942. Did you watch this film on Amazon Prime, Karen, or some other platform?
No, I watched it on Amazon.
Okay. Well, the first thing I saw was rated NR.
Not rated.
Nope. And then we had credits. Do we want to talk about the gowns or anything? Because I made a note about who did the gowns.
I did too, but I didn't look her up. Did you?
No, but I think it's the same. I think it's
the same one. Yeah. Beautiful clothes in this one.
Gowns gorgeous. By who, Karen?
I think it's Renee. Or Renee.
There's like one of those fucking marks above something at the end. So it's not an umlaut though.
Oh, it's not an umlaut?
No, so it's not metal.
It's RENIE.
Yeah, I think there's an accent mark above the E. I don't know what the hell that means, Karen.
Well, it means you emphasize it, I believe, but
Renee.
I'm sure we're butchering her name. She has designed beautiful clothes in this movie.
Has she?
Yes.
Has she really?
Nice shoes. I like the 1940s shoes. What can I say?
Notice the shoes. I did notice some things about the bathing wear, but we'll get to it. You think she designed that shit too, Karen?
I don't know.
All right. Next, credits, which I just said. Gowns by Renee. Renee. Then we have words to read, I think, don't we?
Words for you to read.
Oh, my God. Even as fog continues to lie in the valleys, so does ancient sin cling to the low places. The depressions in the world consciousness And apparently that's a quote from The Anatomy of Atavism by Dr. Lewis Judd, who I learned later as a character in this film, Karen.
He is. You do learn that later.
Yeah, I thought it was a real thing there for a minute. We open when you see Black Panther cage at the zoo, and a girl is like drawing shit and
Well, a young woman.
whatever. And
Well, I
she's
don't want you
ripping.
to think it's a little girl. It's a young woman who is not happy with her drawings.
Yeah, and she rips the pages out and keeps like throwing them at the wastebasket across the way. And she's a terrible shot, Karen.
Yeah, she's missing a lot of threes.
But some guy picks them up and puts them in the garbage. And did you make a note of the sign that was there in the zoo?
Yes. There's a sign near the trash can that says, "Let no one say, and say it to your shame, that there was beauty before you came," which basically says don't litter.
Yeah.
But she misses. He picks up the drawing. They make eye contact. He throws away the paper and she smiles at him, but goes back to drawing.
And that's all it takes, Karen, apparently.
Yep. He's drawn to her.
Yes. And she's over there drawing more shit. And next one, she just like drops on the ground. She says she's not drawing. She's doing sketches. She's not drawing the animals, right? She's like a fashion designer or some shit.
She says she sketches for fashion, which I assume means she's a designer. But he tries to pick her up with, he doesn't know any artists. And she says, "I'm not an artist. I'm a sketcher." And she's ripping him up. She's not happy with them.
And she drops the next one on the ground and no one picks it up. They just let it both go. Apparently they don't, neither one of them.
Yeah, they both let it go.
And it blows in the wind. And we see it as they're walking away. It's a panther, Karen, with a dagger going through it.
Yeah, he just starts helping her pack up her stuff.
Well, as you do. If you're a gentleman, that's what you do. I think, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not a gentleman, so I don't know. They walk and talk.
Yeah, and we learn their names are Oliver and
Irena.
Irena. Is that what we're calling her?
I'm calling her Irena.
Irena. Okay. I'll call her Irena.
She's from Serbia. The reason we're discussing back and forth is everyone in the movie says her name a little differently. It was hard to figure out exactly what they were saying.
So Oliver walks Irena home and she invites him up to her apartment for tea, Karen. And Irena tells Oliver that he is her first real friend in America. Apparently she just got off the boat or some shit.
Well, she said she knows lots of designers and secretaries and all of that, but she hasn't made a real friend yet. And all he did was walk over to her and they're fast friends.
All he did is make some baskets in the garbage can. So next we see they're sitting in the dark, Karen.
Well, before you say that, there is something to notice. When they walk in, he comments that he can smell her perfume.
Does he?
In the apartment. And she says perhaps she uses too much, but she just loves it.
He also comments about what is inside a brownstone, because it's a pretty nice place.
It's gorgeous. I mean, they go in the front door, they have to go up some stairs and
it's not like any apartment I lived in, Karen. Just saying.
Me either. I just wrote nice place. But yes, it smells of her perfume.
So next we see they're sitting in the dark and Irena is humming and they hear the sound of lions from the zoo. And Oliver, of course, is smoking a Marlboro. Lots of smoking in this film, Karen.
That's true. There is.
And Irena says sometimes she hears the panther, but it screams like a woman and she does not like that.
Yeah, she finds the lion's roar natural and soothing, but she doesn't like the panthers.
Next, Oliver notices a statue in Irena's apartment. And it's the statue of the king from Serbia on horseback. And he's got his arm raised with a dagger in his hand. And there's a cat impaled on it. And
it's a sword.
It's a little bigger than a dagger. Yeah, it's not quite a sword, I would say. But yeah. And then she goes on to explain like her village history. And I did make a note that that's a nice shot of Irena with the painting of the cats behind her,
Mm-hmm.
looking down at her, and with aren't there some birds in the foreground of the painting she's in? But it's a nice shot of her and the cat painting behind her. And apparently the king drove all the wicked people from her village.
Well, okay, so we were talking a little bit about this before we started, because I thought she was saying the Marmadukes came, which I kept picturing Marmaduke from the comics. But what is it? The
Mama Luke's, I think.
So King John the statue is him on the horse, but the Mamelukes came and enslaved the people. And at first they were good. They were acting in their Christian ways. But then little
Mameluke, Karen, is a term most common referring to non-Arab slave soldiers and freed slaves to which were assigned military and administrative duties, serving in the Arab or Muslim world. So there you go.
Okay. So at first the village people, even though they were enslaved, they were good. They were Christian. But then little by little, the people changed. So when King John came to their village, he found dreadful things. They bowed down to Satan and said their masses to him. They had become witches and were evil. King John killed most of them, but the wisest and most wicked escaped into the mountains. And the wicked ones haunt the village where she was born. So it's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah.
To talk about on a first date.
Then the clock strikes.
Wait, on your first dates, did you bring up Satan and all your worshiping to him or anything?
Which first date? I've had many first dates, Karen.
Well, any first date. I don't know if you should admit that you had many first dates.
I may have. I don't know.
That's why you had only first dates.
Probably why.
But Oliver's not fazed.
No. And the clock strikes 6 p.m. And Oliver leaves and they agree to have dinner the next day. Next, we cut to a sign on a building that says C.R. Cooper Ship and Barge Construction Company. And apparently this is where Oliver works. He's like an engineer or some shit, Karen. But Oliver brings the cat to work with him, and he bought it for Irena.
Yeah, it's a Siamese cat. It's really pretty. It's in a box on his desk. It's a kitten.
And then we meet Alice and the Commodore, who was in our last movie, Karen, the Commodore. Jack, what's his name? Jack Holt? Yeah, Jack Holt, the Commodore. He was what's her name's husband in the last movie we did.
Juanita's husband.
Yes, Juanita's husband. So next week, see Oliver trying to give the cat to Irena.
He arrives at Irena's house with the kitten, but the kitten doesn't like her. It hisses at her. And Alice has been playing with the kitten all day. So the kitten's fine. It just doesn't like Irena.
But they decide to go exchange it for another pet.
Okay, you just take it back to the pet store and get a different pet.
So they walk into the pet store, and none of the animals in the pet store seem to like Irena very much, Karen.
Yeah, they all go nuts. They're squawking
but they
barking.
do exchange the cat for a canary, which is very interesting, I think. And
yeah.
Irena, decides I will wait outside. And the pet store lady then gives like a soliloquy about cats and how they are a good judge of people or some shit, right, Karen?
Yeah, it's true.
She making any notes about her soliloquy?
No, she just says you can't fool a cat. They seem to know who's a good person.
All right.
But Oliver and Irena leave with the canary.
Yeah, next we cut to their apartment, and Oliver has fallen asleep on the couch.
In front of the fire.
Yes. And Irena is sitting on the floor, and then they profess their love for each other, Karen.
After one date.
We assume that's all we see is one date, but we don't know for sure.
Oh, I thought it was the dinner for the next day, but I guess
I don't
you're
know.
right.
Could it be?
Could
I don't know.
Could have been a while.
And Oliver wants to kiss Irena, Karen, but she resists. She's not ready to make that next step.
So she says, I've lived in dread of this moment. That's not what you want to hear. when you're going in for a kiss. She says she stayed away from people and lived alone.
But next, we're at a restaurant and we're celebrating their wedding, Karen.
Yeah. So the next day, so 48 hours later, no, it's snowing outside. They make a point of showing a season change at least.
Well, we don't know when it started.
No, but it wasn't snowing. So
Next, we're at the restaurant with Oliver, Irena, and Oliver's co-workers, and they're celebrating the wedding apparently
at
a
a
Serbian restaurant.
Yeah.
And a cat-like woman, Karen, catches Irena's eye from across the room, and she comes up to the table, and she refers to Irena as her sister.
She speaks in Serbian, though.
Yes. And Irena is afraid she was one of the cat people.
Irena crosses herself for
Yes,
protection.
she does. And Oliver laughs it off. So, Karen, I'm just going to bring up right now. This is another one of those films. You've picked yet another film which has lesbian undertones, apparently.
Oh, is that supposed to be the lesbian undertone?
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently they say that lesbians...
They stare a little too long or something? What?
I don't know. Well, from the very beginning, she's like sad that she can't be like other women and have a natural relationship with a man, right?
Well, because she would be passionate, but if she was in a relationship with a woman, she'd be passionate too.
I get you.
I didn't notice that. I
That's a good argument, Karen, because she would kill her if she was a cat person. She would kill her lesbian lover just as well as she would kill her male lover, right?
Well, I assume so. You'd be passionate
me
and
too,
in love.
I guess, but I'm just saying from the research I got, that's they're talking about, but whatever. But that makes sense.
They kept saying this woman looked like a cat. What about her looked like a cat? I couldn't.
She had like a thing in her hair with like two little like ears in her hair or something. Even the people that the guy at the table, the Jack Holt, Karen says, check out that girl. Check her out over there.
She's a beautiful woman.
The other guy says, oh, she looks like a cat.
Very elegant and graceful.
They hit you over the head with the cat shit in this movie a lot.
Yes, they do. But she was elegant, and graceful. So maybe that's another cat reference.
Yeah, she looked good to me. All right, next, Oliver and Irena are dropped off at the apartment. Outside in the snow, Karen, Irena asks Oliver for some time. She feels there is something evil inside her, and she asks Oliver to be patient. And they retire to separate bedrooms in the apartment.
Well, he says he has all the time and patience she needs. Yes, and then they go inside and go to sleep in separate rooms. Okay. Where she hears the panther.
Yes, and Irena wants to let Oliver in, but she can't do it.
No, she kind of listens at the door, longingly.
Yes. Next, we see the Black Panther cage at the zoo. Zookeeper tells Irena the Black Panther is an evil creature, Karen. And then he quotes something from the Book of Revelations.
And only sad people visit the panther.
Something about the beast being like a leopard.
So this is probably as good a spot as any to tell you my zoo story about the Black Panther.
Oh, okay. Go on.
My poor mother. I remember doing this. I'm not sure how old I was, but when do you have memories? 5, 4, 5, something like that? Maybe 6. I don't know. But my mom used to take us to the zoo a lot. It was just something to do. We'd go with those Sheehy kids. And I went in the cat. I've always loved cats. Wasn't allowed to have them for a long time because my dad doesn't like them because they kill birds. But anyway, love cats. And there was a Black Panther at the zoo. And it was behind glass. It was back before they had the nicer
it's better than
habitats.
It's better than this.
Right. These are the ones. Yeah, these are the ones. And what's in the movie are just regular cages. So it was better than that. They were moving in the right direction with habitats and things. Well, anyway, I pitched a royal fit because my mom would not let me take the Black Panther home. I mean, I threw myself on the ground, crying, screaming. And now as a parent, my mom must have just been standing there going, what the fuck? You can't take the panther home. Like, do you know how they have those parents now? They'll take a picture of their kid and they'll say, and the kid's screaming, they'll film them and say, because I put the peanut butter on before the jelly or something like that. You know, like they have these, that's what it would be like. She would film me rolling around on the ground outside the panther in the cat house because I'm not allowed to take the panther home. I mean, lost my shit because I wanted that thing so bad. So there you go. Always a cat person. And I feel bad. I wish I could apologize to my mom.
Right. Next, we see Irena doing fashion sketches. And she has her canary, and she tries to take the canary.
The canary's still alive in the apartment, but then what happens?
Well, she tries to take the canary out of the cage.
I thought, is she going to eat it? Like, I didn't know what was happening.
I think she wants someone to hold it and, treat it like a pet. But he gone. Canary gone.
It dies from fright.
It dies. And Irena she finds a small box and puts the canary in it. Next, she goes to the zoo and throws the dead bird into the cage of the Black Panther.
Yeah, it was odd. She just whips it in there.
Next, we cut back to the apartment, Karen. And Irena tells Oliver she envies all the women she sees on the streets because they're all happy and they make their husbands happy. And she wants to be just like them.
Yeah, she wants to live a normal life.
But apparently she can't, Karen, because she's a lesbian.
Or a panther.
And Irena tells Oliver about what she did with the bird, the canary.
Yeah, she says she had to. Somehow she was driven to do it.
Felt compelled to do it. Oliver thinks Irena needs to see a psychiatrist.
Oliver thinks that all of this is happening because of the stories from her youth, that she believes these stories. And he thinks if they can just get her to not believe the stories, she'll be fine and sleep with him. But until he gets her to not believe the stories, he's stuck. So, but she wants to figure out what's going on. So
to sleep with him. Interesting that you say that, because it's not really, I guess it's implied in the movie, but they don't really say like she refuses to have any physical contact with the guy, right?
I don't think she's even kissed him.
No, I don't think so either.
Would you marry someone you hadn't even kissed?
No, Karen, I would not. Next, we see Irena at the psychiatrist, and she's lying on the couch there, but only her face is illuminated.
It's very dark.
Because the doctor has a spotlight on it, which I think is kind of creepy, but cool at the same time. And the doctor is using hypnosis, and Irena tells him about the evil women in the village who turned into cats when aroused by passion. She says her father was killed in an accident in the woods, but she does not know what happened. And the other children teased her and called her mother a witch and a cat woman. Well, that's what the psychiatrist relays to her after he takes her out of hypnosis anyway. We don't hear all that.
No, he just is letting her know that she spilled the beans.
But is he doing something like not so cool in hypnosis? Is he like fucking with her a little bit? Karen, what do you say?
I don't know. He's a bit lecherous. Do you mean that?
Yeah, he's like something about, do you trust me? Do you trust me? Trust me. Trust me. I feel like he says like that a lot at the end of this.
Well, and he
session.
says, tell your husband nothing.
Yeah.
He's kind of seems like he's grooming her a bit to.
Yeah, grooming. That's a good name. That's a good word for it. Good word. But if you don't, it goes by if you're not paying attention, right?
No, it gets a little more obvious later, but you get a creepy feeling from him that he's slimy a little bit.
Yep. So next, Irena goes back to the apartment, and Alice and Oliver are there. Alice is Oliver's coworker.
I just wrote, uh-oh.
And she learns that Alice knows she is seeing a psychiatrist, and that, in fact, Alice suggested him to Oliver. Irena is not happy, Karen.
No, she's upset that Alice knows their business.
And I don't really care for Alice much either. I don't like either one of these two, actually.
Alice is kind of like a dame. You know, she hangs with the guys and nothing much. She says what she thinks, and she's very
like, she's
kind of
very
not in your
monotone.
face,
She's
but-
not overtly female, or I don't know. It's just,
What do you mean overtly female?
I don't
She's
know.
not,
It's weird. She's
not
weird.
feminine. Well, no, she spends most of her time with men. She works in a very male dominated field. I think she's shown as a contrast to Irena.
And at the time I was thinking, okay, it's 1942. You know, there's a world war going on. I was thinking maybe these are the best actors they could get. I don't know. But I didn't really like Alice when I first met her.
She's like rough around the edges. You know, like maybe she grew up in a tough neighborhood or something.
She's
That's
not
the
a good
feel you get.
actress. That's the feel I get.
Well,
She's not a
okay.
very good actress. All right, whatever. So then,
Anyway, Alice apologizes profusely. She didn't even realize she did something wrong, but she's sorry.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, she's written well. She's not a good actress. That's all I can say
And
about her.
Irena won't look at her and says goodbye.
Yes.
Like get the hell out of my apartment.
Next, Irena wakes up in the middle of the night and goes to the zoo.
She hears the panther
Yes.
and then goes to the zoo and then leaves.
Yeah, she just goes and comes back.
She eyes the panther and leaves.
Yeah, and Oliver greets her at the lobby of their apartment, which is again,
Which we should have mentioned, they moved into her apartment
Yes.
after they got married.
they did. Well, look at it.
I know.
It's got a lobby. And Irena begs him not to quarrel with her because she is afraid of the thing within her will be unleashed.
He was on his way out to go find her because he woke up and she was gone. And then, yes, she says they should never quarrel. How would that work out for you? I don't think anyone could never quarrel.
I'm not very disagreeable, Karen. I don't know what you think.
That's not what I think.
Yeah, well, I'm not really, but I'm pretty of a easygoing kind of guy, but whatever. So next we see Oliver and Alice working. And apparently Oliver's making mistakes and measurements, and they need to take a smoke break.
That's what they need. They need a cigarette.
Yes. Need a cigarette, a Marlboro. Oliver
Now,
says,
I know you've done that.
Yeah. Oliver
Help calm
says,
your nerves.
Oliver says
Sorry.
that he ran into the psychiatrist and that Irena has not been back since her first appointment. So he's just sharing all kinds of shit with Alice that he shouldn't be.
That, and this is in New York City, right? And he
Seems
just
like
happens to run into the psychiatrist.
Oliver says he doesn't know what to do. He's never been so unhappy. And then Alice begins to cry, Karen.
Yes, Oliver's at a loss. Everything's always been easy for Oliver. He's never been unhappy. What a life. How old do you think he is? In his 30s, and he's never been unhappy.
He's probably in his 20s, I would say.
It's pretty good.
Then Alice tells Oliver that she is in love with him.
She hates him being unhappy. She
Well,
loves
thanks for
him
telling me now.
and
dumbass.
doesn't care if he knows it. She has to tell him.
I mean, she doesn't seem, overtly, affectionate anytime in this whole movie, really.
No, and
She just says, I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you.
Oliver isn't
Whatever.
sure he loves Irena. Alice pitches her love, tells him what love should be,
Yes.
which is, of course, everything opposite to what he has.
Well, Alice describes what she thinks love is. And then Oliver describes how he feels about Irena, but he says that they're like strangers. And I kind of felt like it's more infatuation. You know what I mean? Like he says when she is in the room, he can't take her eyes off of her and he has to be near her.
It's like lust instead of love.
A
He's
tisket, a
drawn to her
tasket.
all the time.
Potato, potato.
Well, lust isn't love necessarily.
Not necessarily, no.
He's just very attracted to her.
Yes. But he says he feels like they are strangers, but he's drawn to her, right?
Yes. So he's in lust.
Then Alice takes Oliver by the hand and says, "We will never be strangers." Next, we see Irena back at the zoo. And she sees that the zookeeper has left the key in the panther cage in the lock. She takes the key out and brings it to the zookeeper. She turns to leave, and then the psychiatrist is there, and he tells her that she resists temptation well.
He's surprised she gave the key back. She's good
Yeah.
at avoiding temptation. I was surprised she gave it back too.
He says that she missed her appointment, so he has had to come to her.
But she says she doesn't think he can help her.
Next, we cut back to the apartment. Oliver confronts Irena about not seeing the psychiatrist. He doesn't believe that she wants help.
He's worried they are drifting apart. The old drifting apart.
Oh, shit. They don't even fucking know each other, do they?
No,
really?
they don't. No.
Apparently.
It's easy to drift apart when you don't know each other.
He tells Irena that he and Alice were talking about it, and Irena ain't happy about that shit.
Well, who would be?
And then Oliver says, "I'm going back to the office where Alice is."
But he doesn't know that.
He doesn't.
It doesn't
And I don't think
seem
he
like-
cares at this point.
No, I don't
wants
think he
to-
does. She
Wants to
professed
get
his
out of the
love and
apartment, go back to the office, and sit in his cubicle or whatever the hell it is. And
he doesn't really react to Alice when she tells him that.
he doesn't.
It's just kind of like, okay, but I'm married to Irena.
Yeah, he's
so
a good
good luck
dude.
with that.
He's a good dude.
He is. He's trying. You've just listened to half of this week's episode. Are you loving it? If so, can you do us a big favor and leave a review wherever you listen? Reviews help us grow the podcast. We just want to say thanks so much for your support. Now let's get back to the good stuff.
But he goes to the office and decides to go to the restaurant around the corner first, and he orders apple pie and coffee, Karen. But we see Alice at the office, like she's in there, and it's very dark, and she's getting ready to leave.
Yeah, she's wrapping it up for the night.
It is winter, right, in New York?
I
Is that
don't
what
know.
we're led to believe? So it would get dark early. That's the whole thing I had.
But no one else is in there.
No. So then the phone rings and she answers it, but of course no one replies. And of course it's Irena calling the office because that's where Oliver said he was going.
And then she knows Alice is there.
Yeah, but Oliver ain't there. He's at the restaurant around the corner.
But she doesn't know that. We have to tell everybody this is all before caller ID. So Alice doesn't know it's Irena. We do because we see it. But back in the day, you could call and hang up on people and they wouldn't know if it was you or not. Now you
Yes.
can't do that.
Well, there are ways. So next, Alice leaves the office, and the cleaning lady tells her that Oliver was just there and he went to the restaurant, and Alice goes to see if she can catch him there. Irena gets down to Oliver's office just as Oliver and Alice are leaving the restaurant together.
I did notice when Irena leaves her apartment that her doors are twice the size of her. You see, the doors are so tall, but the apartment is very cool.
Nice building. Oliver offers to walk Alice home. She says she will be fine. She's a big girl, and they shake hands and leave.
Very obviously shake hands. It's pretty funny. There was no need to shake hands. They could have just said, okay, and walked away. But they had to do this very
Karen,
over the top.
I hug my female friends when I'm leaving them like that. They don't
You
do
are
that.
not a hugger.
Karen, I am a closet hugger.
It's nice to hug. You never know if you're going to see that person again. It's
Yeah,
nice
you
to
never
give a
know.
hug. So
Yeah.
I'm not a closet hugger. I'm an outright hugger. So be prepared, people. it's comical how obvious they make shaking hands.
But anyway, Irena follows Alice. And we hear the sound of high heels echoing throughout the streets.
Yeah, there is no one else on the streets.
Yeah,
there's
but
not
there's two
one other
distinctive
person. Yes.
sounds of Alice's high heels and Irena's high heels, right?
There's no covering up the high heel sounds.
And I think Irena is walking quicker than Alice, which I don't really get. Otherwise, she would have got caught up with her. And then suddenly Irena's echoes stop. Her sound of high heels stop.
Yeah, Alice gets spooked and starts to go faster, and then Irena's footsteps stop.
And then Alice runs.
Yes.
And she stops, just happens to stop at a bus stop just as the bus is pulling up.
Yes, there are panther growls in the background.
Yeah. And there's something in the bushes, Karen.
Yes, they make that obvious too. They shake the trees or what it is. But the bus pulls up and the bus driver says, "You getting on or what, lady?" And Alice gets on, which is weird because it's going the wrong direction.
So next we're back at the zoo. And apparently some lambs have been slaughtered.
At the zoo? Is that where they were? I couldn't tell. Okay.
Yeah. And the tracks in the mud turn from cat prints to footprints of women's high heels, Karen.
Yes, they do.
Do you recognize those high heel prints? Is that a special shoe or anything?
No, it's just a pump.
Okay. Not stiletto heels.
The heel in the 40s was not thin like a stiletto. It was a little
It looks pretty
chunkier. No, a stiletto is a very thin heel.
And next we see Irena getting in a taxi. Irena arrives back home. She has mud all over her coat, I wrote. And Oliver asks for her forgiveness.
Which she thinks is for being with Alice, but really it's just because they quarreled.
Yeah.
Or we're about to
Well, I'm not sure she thinks it's for being with Alice.
Well, he doesn't know she knows he was with Alice.
Well, I didn't get that at all.
Oh, I thought that's what it was.
And she says she forgives him, and then she goes to take a bath. She undresses and gets into the bath, and she cries. But
I thought you would like that.
There are no bare breasts, Karen.
No, but she took off her stockings.
She did.
That was kind of nice. She was sexy in that way, right? Taking off the stockings. Okay. No, that was supposed to be sexy, I think.
Was it? Well, I think it was too. I mean,
but
yeah, yes, I got it.
No bare breasts.
No bare breasts. Sorry, Courtney.
The count is still 0. She cries in the tub. Did you mention that?
Yes, she cries. Yeah. And next, Irena is dreaming. In bed and dreaming. And she sees, is this a psychiatrist she sees? Holding a sword that turns into a key? What the hell is up with that shit?
Well, it's a dream.
Okay.
But she does hear him. He keeps saying.
So it's like a dream. Doesn't mean anything. Because I have dreams like that all the fucking time. So if you say yes, I'm ready to move on.
She hears the psychiatrist keep saying, "Need to release evil on the world. You need to release evil on the world." And it's King John and the key, but it's the psychiatrist as King John, right?
Okay.
I think.
So you think it's just a dream and ready to move on?
Yes, she wakes up.
Yeah. All right. Good. So next we see Irena back at the zoo. And she takes the key from the panther's cage and puts it in her purse this time.
So we should mention.
Apparently that zookeeper is fucking careless.
He said that to her earlier when she gave him the key back. He said, "Oh, I always forget the key in there," which does seem a bit careless since it's a panther.
But maybe the panther likes being locked up and being fed meat every day. Who knows?
Do you want to know about black panthers?
Oh, what can you tell me, Karen? Anything I don't know?
Well, do you know they're actually a jaguar or a leopard?
Yes, I did.
The black skin is genetic. So they actually do have patterns on them. You just can't see them most of the time. They do have the spots. They're native to 3 different continents.
Do you know which continents, Karen? Are you going to make us guess?
Go ahead and guess.
I would say Africa,
Mhm.
South America, and probably Asia.
You're very, very good. They are solitary, nocturnal. Guess what do you think their lifespan is?
I'm going to say 17 years. That's the number that pops in my head.
It's pretty close, 12 to 15 years. I would give you credit for that. They can swim. They're good swimmers, which a lot of cats aren't, but they are.
They just don't know they're good swimmers. They are. If they throw a fucking cat in the water, it will swim.
No, they sink. My brother did that. He
Ah.
ran in the house once. He dropped one of the cats in the pool. He came running in and told my mom that whatever you do, don't put cats in the pool. They can't swim.
Anything else about Black Panthers we need to know, Karen?
No, I just thought you might want to know a little bit about Black Panthers. They're beautiful animals, and I really wanted one.
So much so that you were rolling on the ground, kicking and screaming, throwing a tantrum.
A big tantrum.
All right.
And I do remember everybody ignoring me. So I don't know if I had a lot of tantrums or everybody just rolled their eyes at how ridiculous it was and moved on.
So next we're at a museum, apparently.
No, this is just like, okay, so Irena is pissed that Oliver has told Alice all this stuff. So what does Oliver do?
Well, I haven't told you
Hey,
yet.
Let's everybody, Alice, let's go to the museum with Irena. Do you really think that would be a good idea?
She doesn't seem to mind at the time.
Dating tip. If your girlfriend is not happy with you talking
Or
with
your
another
wife.
woman, well, true, but
They're married at this point.
if your significant other is mad at you for talking to someone, don't take that person on a date with you. That's just not good.
So we're at a museum, and Irena,
It's like a maritime museum, I think. So
Oliver.
it's ships. Because it would be Oliver and Alice are interested in
and
it.
Alice are there, and Oliver and Alice say that perhaps Irena would like to look at something more modern because they're looking at old fucking ships, and then they suggest she goes upstairs. But apparently she goes downstairs because she's walking downstairs and we see like Egyptian cat people shit. Right? As she's walking downstairs.
Yeah, I wrote, how dense is Oliver?
And they agreed to meet at the lobby, but Irena ends up leaving.
She just leaves. She's pissed. They
Then
ditched her.
Irena follows Alice home.
Well, Oliver drops Alice at her apartment because they were
Does
together.
Oliver, or does like a
He's in the
taxi?
cab. Yeah, he's in
Is
the
he?
cab with her. Yeah.
Is he in it?
I thought so.
Are you sure? I got the feeling she arrived alone back home.
I thought he dropped her off
I don't think he did.
and then went to his house.
All right, but regardless, Alice arrives to her house, and Irena has
Her
followed her.
apartment, yeah.
And Alice walks in and asks the hostess in her apartment building for the key to the swimming pool. Karen,
It's like a ladies only boarding house kind of place.
it's like a hotel.
Well, yeah, but there's an older woman who's kind of the mom, the guardian, you know.
Alice goes down to the pool.
She asks for the key for the swimming pool. There's a kitten at the desk.
There's cats everywhere in this fucking movie. So then Irena enters and asks the lady at the lobby for I don't know what she is. What do you call the person in your apartment lobby, Karen? Because I don't know.
I called her the receptionist.
Okay. Because I never had no people in the lobby of my apartment building. I'm just saying. Didn't have a fucking lobby. But she asked the lady if it's okay if she goes downstairs to meet Alice. And she says, yeah, go ahead, honey, whatever. So Irena goes down there and there's a kitten. And the kitten's fucking afraid.
Yeah, the cat hisses and runs. And I think Alice hears and sees that, right?
Well, Alice hears growls and jumps into the pool.
Well, she hears a panther growl, gets scared, and runs and dives into the pool. Now,
Yes.
What did I just tell you about panthers? They're excellent.
Good swimmers. Yeah.
But would you run and jump into the pool? Wouldn't you feel a little trapped if you ran into the pool?
not necessarily.
Well, I would. I wouldn't want to be in the pool.
Next thing I have written down, Karen, is what is up with her bathing suit?
What's wrong with her bathing suit?
You didn't notice anything wrong with her bathing suit?
Looked like it was wool.
Well, it looks like she had like fucking nipples stitched into her suit.
Oh, I did not notice that.
Oh my God. I don't know how you couldn't. You thought those were natural nipples?
I didn't even look at her nipples. I don't know.
God. Karen, it looks like they were stitched in on purpose.
Oh, maybe it was meant to be titillating.
Was that a thing in the 40s? I don't know.
know.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
You missed my joke. Titillating.
No, I get it, Karen. I got
Thanks.
it. All right, whatever. But Alice hears growls as she's treading water in the middle of the pool, and she's spinning around and around, looking at shadows on the walls.
There's a lot of shadow work in this film. Lots of shadows.
And some of it is good.
Some of it is.
But Alice screams and yells for help.
And they hear her up in the lobby.
Yeah, the lobby woman and a maid. I don't know what to call the lobby woman. I don't know what she is. Like I said, never had one of those in any of my apartments.
Oh my God, poor Greg. Nobody has those. You didn't live in New York City. We don't know, but none of us had those.
It's like a hotel. Whatever. So right before the others arrive, Irena turns on the light.
Yeah, was she swimming in the dark?
Yeah. As you do, Karen.
Do you?
Yeah. Irena turns on the light. Irena asks Alice if she knows where Oliver is. Alice tells her that he is probably home and that they waited for her at the museum in the lobby where they were supposed to meet up, Karen.
Yep.
So Irena leaves and Alice gets out of the pool.
Yeah, the whole time Irena's there, she's talking to Alice in the pool.
She gets out of the pool and asks one of the
women who have come running down.
Yes.
Because we don't know the name. So we're calling it a receptionist. But
to give her robe. And her robe is torn to pieces, Karen.
Shredded.
Like,
I don't know, maybe a panther got hold of it.
Or a cat.
Big cat.
Right. Next, we see Alice meeting in her apartment lobby with the psychiatrist.
Well, Alice calls him on the phone and tells him she believes Irena's story now. And she admits to being in love with Oliver.
And they're all smoking Marlboros. And she tells the psychiatrist that she believes that Irena is a Catwoman.
Yes. So it's the psychiatrist, Oliver, and Alice all talking about it, isn't it?
No, it's just a psychiatrist and Alice.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. Yes.
And Alice says she has been followed twice by something that wanted to kill her that was not human. And she shows the psychiatrist her robe.
Yes.
Like he's telling her like she has some like neurosis or some shit, whatever. And
he says they're both victims of fear, is what he says. And,
as a psychiatrist would.
And the doc says he has to talk to Irena to get her side of the story. And Alice's big thing is don't go alone.
Yes, the Alice warns the doctor to protect himself. And he mentions something about perhaps I need a gun with a silver bullet. But he doesn't have one, but he does have a cane with a fucking sword in it. But he does say it's not silver. So there you go.
He has a deadly walking stick, basically.
Next, we see Irena seeing the psychiatrist. And she begs the psychiatrist for help. She tells him that she has not lied to him. And of course, the psychiatrist smokes another Marlboro, Karen. Psychiatrist warns Irena that she is very close to being in true insanity.
Irena says she's having memory issues. And then the doc asks her if she is still afraid to kiss her husband. And then he asks what would happen if she kissed him. And he pushes her, says she is clever, and then she says she has no secrets, needs his help, and that's when he starts threatening her with insanity. Is it because she wouldn't kiss him, or because I don't know.
I feel like the psychiatrist in this whole thing is like kind of slimy.
Yeah. But he says he can't help her. She can only help herself.
Yes, she can only help herself.
And get rid of all the cat stuff.
Next, we're back at the apartment. Oliver enters, and Irena has dinner all prepared by the fireplace, Karen.
A romantic dinner.
She says she has been to the psychiatrist and she is no longer afraid. She's ready to kiss him and, do whatever married people do, Karen.
Make him happy.
Oliver tells Irena that too late. He's in love with Alice. It's too late for them and their marriage. Wow.
Things have changed.
Irena kicks Oliver out. But
she's mumbling to herself. She starts to have a little mini breakdown and tells Oliver to leave.
Yeah, by the couch. And she kind of looks like a cat to me. Like you see her eyes above the edge of the couch.
And then she,
As Oliver leaves, she claws at the couch and there's rips in the couch.
She leaves claw marks, scratches in the couch.
Well, she did
look like a cat on the couch. You're right.
Lots of whirlwind romances in this film. Karen.
Yes, doesn't take much.
All I have to say. All right, next we're at the restaurant where Oliver and Alice was before, around the corner from their business, and we see Alice, Oliver, and the psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist tells Oliver he has two choices: either to have Irena committed or to have the marriage annulled.
I don't think Alice should be there. She shouldn't be privy to all this information about
love, Karen. They're in love.
I guess.
They're going to spend the rest of their life together regardless of what happens right here. Doctor tells Oliver the law says you cannot divorce an insane person, Karen.
Which seems like a reason you would want to divorce someone.
I was like, what the hell? I'm pretty sure that law has been changed since 1942. God damn, I think that's a reason for divorce now.
Most people pretty much get divorced for that reason.
She's fucking insane. And they planned on meeting Irena at the apartment that evening at 6:00. And they're going to try to get her to sign some annulment papers.
Yeah, the doc says
they don't want to have her committed, but
they can either commit her or they can annul the marriage. But if they commit her, then he can't divorce her because she's insane. So he says he's going to annul the marriage, but he does say he's going to take care of her.
Yeah, he needs to take care of her. And Alice agrees.
Yes. So they're not just leaving her high and dry. They're going to watch over her.
Back at the apartment, Irena is a no-show.
The doc knows where she is.
Does he? So yeah, Oliver and Alice decide to go back to the office to work. And then the doctor pretends to forget his cane in the apartment. And he takes Oliver's key to go back to retrieve it. And he grabs a key or some shit for himself, ? I wrote. I didn't understand.
I don't know. He did something, I think, so that the door was unlocked and he could go back in.
All right. I don't trust the doctor. That's all I'm saying.
No, he's slimy.
Next, at the office, Alice and Oliver are working and the phone rings. And once again, Alice answers. And of course, no one says anything. And Alice says that it probably is Irene and she's scared. And she wants to leave immediately.
Because it's happened once before and she knows what's going to happen. She says she could be in the lobby. She could come up here right now. We need to leave.
So they go to leave, but the door is locked, Karen. Can't get out. And we see a Black Panther in the room with them.
They have a visitor.
Yes. And eventually Oliver and Alice are cornered in a corner of the office. And Oliver begs Irena to leave them in peace. He
says, in the name of God, leave us in peace.
He grabs a square off of the wall.
The T-square, yes.
Yes. But in the shadows, it looks like a cross.
Yes.
Because, it's uplighted for some reason. Don't know why. And he begs Irena to leave them alone in the name of God.
She does.
She does. Alice and Oliver leave, and they decide to take the stairs because the elevator door is open. They keep running into doors that are open. Like
And
perhaps
he
where
lets
Irena-
Alice go out first, which cracked me up. It's like pushes her in through the open door.
But they take the stairs, they get down there and get to the lobby, and Alice smells Irena's perfume. And the revolving door to the building spins slowly. And they leave.
Alice says she needs a drink.
Well, they go to a payphone, apparently, Karen. Because the next thing I have is Alice calls the apartment, apparently, to warn Dr. Judd, which I don't understand. I don't know why or how
How'd they know he was
he's
there?
at the fucking apartment. Like he
Yeah.
was being a sneaky snake, and he was going to go into the apartment later.
Yeah, what's that whole?
Irena? I don't know.
It was weird.
It was.
At first I didn't know if it was her apartment, but
That's
it
a plot
was.
hole right there. And Alice warns him to leave because Irena may be home any minute.
And he's in a tux. Was he in a tux earlier?
Yeah, he's a fancy dresser. I'm pretty sure he was.
I didn't know if he changed and got fancy for her or what, because he knew she was going to be single. I don't know.
So Irena comes home, and the psychiatrist grabs her and kisses her, Karen. She doesn't resist, but she don't really embrace him either, but he says he's not afraid.
That's just slimy. He tells the other guy to divorce her, but he's still going to take care of her. And then he moves right in. Like, what is this, an hour later? And he kisses her?
Yeah.
Rude. But it doesn't end well for him because he kissed her.
Yeah. And we see some good shadow play on the wall after he kisses her, Karen. I have written.
She's changed into the cat, but do you think she changed because she was angry that he kissed her or because she was passionate about him kissing her?
Angry.
Yeah, okay, me too, but just wanted to be sure.
And we see some good shadow play on the walls. We see the psychiatrist stab Irena with his knife in the shadows, more or less. And we see a cat jump on the psychiatrist, not in shadow play.
Not a cat.
No.
It was a
big cat.
I think it was the trained panther.
Next, Oliver and Alice arrive at the apartment. And
they run up the stairs.
And as they are, Irena hides behind the plant.
Yes, the old hide behind the plant trick.
Holding her shoulder the whole time.
But it worked. They ran right past her.
Well, yeah, as you would. They run in and see the psychiatrist laying on the floor, Karen. Of course, the neighbors have all called the police by now, and they're all in there.
Yeah, everybody's there.
But Oliver and Alice notice that half of the psychiatrist's sword is broken off. And they say they have to find Irena.
This is the first death. How many minutes was this in?
62. Well, I thought about that, and there's actually more, but maybe we'll get to it. But they feel like they have to go to Irena because, she may be
injured. Yes.
So, of course, they go to the zoo, and Irena has the key she put in her purse, and she uses it to open the panther's cage.
She lets out the panther.
Well, the panther leaps out towards her and climbs
knocks
the wall.
her over.
Yeah, climbs the zoo wall, runs into the street, and gets hit by a car.
Immediately.
Taxi.
Yep.
He gone. Next, we see Oliver and Alice arrive at the zoo, and they find the body of a large black panther outside the cage. Right?
With Irena's coat, I think, right?
Then Oliver says, "She never lied to us." And Alice turns her head and cries as they leave. Then we have more words to read, Karen.
What you got?
But black sin hath betrayed to endless night my world. Both parts must die. Holy Sonnets 5. John Donne. I don't know his name. Donne. Whose that quote is attributed to.
Donne.
The end. All right, Karen, anything you were pleasantly surprised by in this film from 1942 that you selected?
I did like the shadow work. I thought there were some good shots with shadows in them.
I agree.
I thought the sets were good. I loved the apartment. I thought the wardrobes were great. I love the clothes. The only
You think she
problem
could
is,
afford that apartment?
I don't know.
Well, she
I
was a
don't know
fashion
what-
designer, I guess.
Yeah,
but
so maybe. I don't know what fashion designers got paid back in the day.
Nice
I don't know what
fucking
they get paid now. So
nice apartment.
yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. What about you?
But you like the gowns and the shoes and
I did like the wardrobe very much.
okay,
Yes.
except for maybe the swimsuit. Don't let me, influence your opinion.
I didn't really notice the swimsuit, so I can't comment on it. I just noticed it looked like wool and a dress.
Right. I agree with most of what you said. Yeah. Anything you were disappointed in?
There were some significant plot holes, which made it a little difficult. And the acting wasn't all that good.
As I think I might have said, it was in the middle of a world war. So I'm not sure what kind of talent they had available.
Seemed like they had
Or
everything
what kind of
else ready
budget
to
they
go.
had, even
Because
at that point,
they had great sets. They had, creative cinematography. So it just that the talent was a little weak. Everything else was,
I mean, Jack Holt was fine as the Commodore.
yeah. I liked the cat lady in the restaurant. I thought she was,
Yeah, she was good. But Oliver, Alice, and Irena. Well, I kind of liked Irena. She was pretty good. Oliver and Alice, I didn't care much for.
they were kind of bland, I think.
She was like his work wife, right?
That's kind of what it implied. Yeah. What we would call that now.
You don't marry your work wife.
That ruins everything.
No, then you got no work wife. You just have a real wife. And you can't have a work wife with real wife in the workplace. That just be crazy, right? Or so they tell me.
Don't double down on the work wives. Bad news.
All right. Anything else you were disappointed in?
No, that
Put it out
pretty
to
much
you.
sums it up.
All right, Karen, what kind of cocktail rating are we giving this film?
I'd say it's a 4.
Ooh, wow.
Well, we just said the acting was terrible.
Yeah, I'm
Or
not going to disagree with you. I'm just
not great. Let's not say terrible, but it wasn't great. It wasn't like Plan 9 acting, but it was.
no, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm just,
It's not even a 3.5. It's a 4.
Whenever, the person who picks the film gives it a 4, that means it's probably pretty bad. Because you picked this and you're giving
It was
it a
not
4.
I was hoping it would be better. I'd heard of the film before, and it did get a remake in
Oh,
the
yeah.
80s, which I haven't seen either, but
40 years later, Karen.
I thought that would
1982.
I think that would have,
Nastasia Kinski. Pretty sure it was better because there was more nudity in it.
well, I guess that always helps. Well, depending on
Don't hurt.
depending on the nudity.
4 cocktails. All right. What do you think of the cocktail, Karen?
I like the cocktail.
I do too.
I'm a fan of ginger syrup. I'm going to try that and some other
I am
things.
too, Karen.
Maybe I'll put it into my iced tea. You gave me that.
Well, put it in your hot tea tomorrow morning. That's what I'm going to be doing. Because you have to use it up because it's not pasteurized or anything. It'll go bad in your fridge even. That's what the recipe said. In a couple of weeks, you'll find little pieces of mold in it. So use it up.
Good to know. Use it quickly.
It's good though.
Very tasty.
If you like ginger. I've always been partial to Marianne, but yeah, I'll take ginger in a pinch.
Really? Because most people like ginger.
No, most people like Marianne, Karen. That's
Do they?
yes. So you know.
All right. Well, I learned something.
All right. Anything we learned today, Karen?
Well, that most people prefer Marianne. A few things
if
about
you believe
Panthers.
me.
Do I have reason not to believe you?
Yeah, Black Panthers. Karen loves Black Panthers. She wants a Black Panther.
I do. And I want the shoes
And
from this movie.
And she will
Pitch a fit.
if she didn't get her Black Panther.
Didn't help. Still didn't get it. So my mom was so mean. Would give me the Black Panther.
Parents.
So unreasonable.
The shoes were good.
Yeah.
Wardrobe was good. Wardrobe gowns by Renee were good.
There were more suits than gowns. I don't really remember gowns.
I mean, they were all dressed very well, I kind of felt.
Yeah, but they were in business suits and things.
Yeah.
Because most often Alice was at work, and I guess
even Irena, who we don't really know what the hell she does, we kind of think she's a fashion designer, but yeah, she dresses very well, and she has a nice fucking apartment.
Yeah. That was a crazy apartment. Drink's good. I recommend the drink. The movie is a little iffy.
Next film, Karen?
Yeah, what's the next film, Greg? It's your choice.
Our next film, Karen, is a film called The Legend of Hell House.
Wow. Okay. Sounds a little more modern.
You would think so.
Why did you pick that?
Karen, this film came out on June 15th in 1973.
Oh, 73.
And our episode comes out June 15th. So that's why it's the anniversary of The Legend of Hell House. And I do have a drink, Karen.
What is the cocktail?
It's called The Drunk Ghost.
Okay. Does that fit in with the movie, or you just like the name?
No, it fits in.
Okay.
So we're going to need some coconut rum, some vanilla vodka, some coconut cream, and some 7-Up or Sprite.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
Basically, kind of like a paranormal investigation movie, I feel like.
Oh. I thought you were going to tell me the drink was like a pina colada. Is it like a pina colada or something? Is that close?
Don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, 1973. I kind of feel like there's paranormal investigators, and I kind of feel like they're based on the Warrens, who were like, the first paranormal investigators.
So you haven't seen it?
No. But it does.
Is it on Amazon?
Yeah, it does star Roddy McDowall, Karen.
Oh. Well.
And the lovely Pamela Franklin.
All right.
I might do a whole month on Pamela Franklin. We'll see.
Can't wait to see how this one goes.
Yep. So that's next week. Legend of Hell House. It's like an hour and a half. Not terrible. Anyone you need to thank this week, Karen?
As always, I'm going to thank our listeners. Thanks for spending time with us. Leave a review. Help us grow this thing. What about you, Greg? Who do you have to thank?
I guess I just need to thank the band Verse 13, Karen. All music on the Scary Spirits podcast is provided by the band Verse 13.
The music does make the podcast better.
And thank you to everyone who listened to our Wicked Ramblings episode on Ghost Hunting 101.
Yeah, that was fun to do. So we'll have to see if those do well. We'll keep doing them. Different topics that you might like.
Yes, there may be a new one coming out in just a couple of weeks.
I'm sure it will be awesome.
Well, duh.
If not, it'll be delightful.
All right. Anything else, Karen?
Please drink responsibly.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to the Scary Spirits podcast, where the movies might be iffy, but the drinks are always solid. We would love to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast, or go to our website, scaryspirits.com. And if you want the direct line, email us at info@scaryspirits.com. If you really want to help us out, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And remember, always drink responsibly. See you next week.